Okay, we left off 254. The halacha, of transporting is limited to Shabbos, right? You're not permitted to transport from domain to domain. What about taking something out of the tchum, city limits, right? There's no difference Shabbos and Yom Tov, right? The person wants to go out of the tchum on Yom Tov, one has to make a eruv tchumin. You have to make an eruv to extend the extent to where you could carry, right? Transport. It's not carrying from domain to domain. So let's say on Sukkot, a non-Jew brings a lulav from outside the tchum. That means it wasn't available to you. You weren't able to go there because it was outside the tchum. It was beyond the city limits. And non-Jew brings it on your behalf. Within the limits, are you permitted to use that lulav? Maybe it's muktzah. Because when Yom Tov began, that the dalid minim were not available to you. We're not speaking where he cut it for you. It's not speaking where the palm branch was attached and he severed it on Yom Tov, and now he brings it to you. It was only outside of the tchum. Of the chum shevi lulav li Yisrael michutz l'tchum. Mutar litlo afilu mishuhuva b'shvilo. Even if the non-Jew brought it specifically for you, it's not he just brought it and now you want to use it. Even if he brought it on your behalf, you're permitted to use the lulav. Because what's the difference? If he doesn't bring it on your behalf, you say, you know something? Because there's always a question if he brings it on your behalf. Now you're encouraged to ask him to do something on your behalf. Next time you'll ask him to do it on your behalf. But if he brings it on his own behalf, for what he has own reason, now it's here, so therefore maybe I'll make a differentiation. Mechaber says no. Even if he brought it specifically on your behalf, you're permitted to use the dalid medium. You are. That's the mechaber. You're permitted. Ayin leil simikuf tav kafei vov sif chaf alef chaf beis v'shib zayin imuto loma lovid gochov leilech achrov. Are you permitted to tell him? Because maybe say the whole idea is what? Amir alakum shvus. Rabbinically, you're not permitted to tell him something. But this is mokum mitzvah. This is for the sake of a mitzvah. Maybe you're permitted. To violate Yom Tov on this behalf, in this context, where it's for the sake of a mitzvah. Let's see the Mishna Berura. Lulav has no Yom Tov question, right? Mutar litlo mikol mokom osa letaltlo chutz l'arba amos imuir ein bo eruv. No, two separate concepts. We learned in Eruvin that if something's brought outside, if a person goes outside of the tchum, mistakenly, you walk beyond the city limits, and you're there, you're limited to 6 feet. You have a radius of 6 feet. You're locked into that 6-foot radius. Can't go beyond because you're outside. You're out of bounds. Once you're out of bounds, you're limited to that small area. So let's say an object is brought from chutz l'tchum. The object also, because this is not its location. It's limited to its location. Location is daled amos. So even though we're saying it's not muktzah, you're permitted to use it, but are you permitted now to take it to your home? You're not permitted to take it. Once it's brought to your house, let's say the guy will bring it into your house, and you live in a 10,000 square foot house. It's not a problem. Because anything which is contained within walls, that's called daled amos. So if you have, let's say, a walled city, in a closed city, in the city, you can take it anywhere within that city. But let's say it's an open city. No, then you're limited to what? You're limited to daled amos. Because you don't see, since it's not within an enclosure, it's open, so then the location is exactly where it is, so it's daled amos. You're out, you walked out of the city, you're beyond. But let's say you're within still the city of your daled amos. No, what do you know? You're in the city, open city. It's not a walled city. He brings it to you in the street. Mr. Schwartz, Mr. Cohn, here's a lulav. Just came out from out of town. It's yours, okay? You're permitted to take it. Are you permitted to take it out to shul, to biyotze, to take to your home to biyotze? You're not permitted. Because since he gives to you in the street, and the city's not a walled city, you're not permitted to take that lulav outside of the daled amos. You're stuck there. You should just put it down we finish, you put it down on the ground and go further. You're right. It's true. You can tell the guy, come with me. But if he gives to you, wherever he gives to you, you're limited to that dollar amos. Okay, we'll see. Let's see the Mishna Berura. If the city doesn't have an eruv, because the eruv is also, it's a halachic wall, it's a halachic enclosure. You have to go to that location where the non-Jew brought the daled minim and take it in that location. He says, if you have a home, regardless of how large that home is, because it's enclosed, it's considered daled amos. What about a person, he's in the street, and a person's old or not well, he's not able to go to that location to take the lulav. Yom ala'akum the whole chetzlam. You say to the non-Jew, could you please bring it? Because that's shvus makom mitzvah. Because factually, you're telling the guy to do something that you're not permitted to do. Correct? Yom Tiv. Shabbos, there's no lulav, right? So you're not permitted to take the lulav from the street, bring it to the person who needs it, right? Because it's muktzah, not muktzah. You're not permitted to take it out of its location. So you're asking the non-Jew to do something that you are not able to do. Rabbinically, that's not permitted. That's called amir lakum shvus. Anything you're not permitted to do, you're not permitted to tell the non-Jew to do on your behalf, or for anybody's behalf. Correct? That's rabbinically not permitted. But over here, why am I telling the non-Jew to bring it to the old man or to the sick person? So that person should be able to be able to say the mitzvah. Right? So engaging with something that's taken out from outside the tchum is rabbinical. Correct? Telling the non-Jew to do that on my behalf is rabbinical. And it's within the context of doing a mitzvah. So it's a double rabbinic, shvus to shvus, b'moka mitzvah. Therefore, if you have a person who's not well or an old elderly person who cannot go there, you're permitted to tell the non-Jew to bring it on behalf of that Jew wherever he may be. No, you could go, if you could go to the street and take it there, then you're not permitted. If a guy who comes to his house, he says, hey, you could say, why don't you come along with me? Come along with me, you know. But here he put it down and said, take that and bring it. So there you're instructing him to do something that you can't do yourself. The person says, I have something. He says, why don't you come to my house? Okay, so you're not telling him specifically to bring the lulav. Come to us, we'll discuss it in my home or wherever. But if the city has an eruv, the Jew could take that lulav and transfer it anywhere within the city, because that's considered, it's not, we said this 6 times. You take a lulav, it's not Hanukkah, right? Okay. The city has an eruv, right? You don't only put up an eruv, you know, you put it up, we're not talking to Hakomas HaMishkan for 7 days. Because that's transporting. Right? That's what we're saying. But if the city has an eruv on Yom Tiv, it's not a problem. Because you see, the whole city is daled amos. Okay. It has certain laws. First of all, it is a mechitza. I mean, what would be an eruv is Tzuras Pesach, right? It's a doorway, 2 vertical posts, and something horizontal to go over the top. If you want to plant 2 species, wheat, you have a vineyard, and you have wheat. And you have a Tzuras Pesach separating between the vineyard and the wheat field. Is it a problem? It's not a problem, right? That's a mechitza. It's a mechitza. It's not limited. There's something else over there. It's discussing it regarding sukkah, something which is a mechitza for Shabbos. Although normally it doesn't meet the criteria of a mechitza for sukkah, but if it's Shabbos and the Torah recognizes that as a mechitza, it validates the sukkah. Although for the sukkah in its own right, it's not normally wouldn't be sufficient. That's what you're thinking about. Yeah. Okay. But let's say you want to take it outside of the city, which normally you're permitted. Something in the city you can take outside of the city. We're not going outside of the tchum. But these daled minim you couldn't take outside the city, right? Because since it came from outside the city and the city's within the city, you have an eruv. So because it's considered enclosed, the enclosure causes the city to be seen as daled amos. But now you want to take it outside the city, outside the eruv, you're not permitted. The eruv only covers half the city. You want to take it to the other side of the city, you're not permitted. Right? Simple. It's not. Is it complicated? Alan, I see you a little. Okay. Bishvilo, it was brought on behalf of the Jew. Now, Mishna Berura says something interesting. Bein b'yom tov rishon, bein b'yom tov sheni. Whether it's a Torah obligation, whether it's a rabbinic obligation. Second day is only rabbinical. Afilu bo b'tzivuyo. He instructed him. Even if he instructed the guy, bring me the daled minim from outside the tchum. Okay, for the same reason. It's shvus to shvus boka mitzvah. To be continued. What? Alpine Mam is rabbinical. There's a question if it's 12 miles, that may be a doraisa. Maybe doraisa.
Of which
It's not an amloch, it's just a Torah law.
Okay, that's
What? What David is and what he has to do different things. Okay, you mean firstly, I want to explain David. You're only permitted to carry for Ochel Nefesh, correct? On Yom Tov, if it's not Ochel Nefesh, permitted to carry. What about in your house? Are you permitted to carry in your house if it's not Ochel Nefesh? Not a problem. See, if you have a city and it has an Eruv, you're permitted to carry even not for Ochel Nefesh. No. Ochel Nefesh means it's some degree of accommodation. So I'm saying, so theoretically, the lulav, the Eruv does function. It does function. In a context where it has no realms to Ochel Nefesh, whatever that case may be. No, you have a case. You need something that you don't need whatsoever, and you want to take it from one location to another. You have no need for it whatsoever. It's not any degree of accommodation. No relevance to the day. And you want to transport it from your house into the street. You know? No. If you have an Eruv, you're permitted. But if you don't have an Eruv, you're not permitted. So you see, Eruv has relevance to Yom Tov. If it's not something which is Ochel Nefesh. Ochel Nefesh is anything which accommodates your need.